and that's gone.
There it is. Ace to win the set. It's caught. 20-10. Touchdown.
This is going to be in the gap.
Yes! Goal! Go to the deflection. The Andover Huskies win their first state championship.
The Andover Ice Arena, Andover, Minnesota, as you get a look at all the fans coming a row. We are bringing you tonight the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame Face-Off Classic coming your way tonight. Couple of competitive teams. The Minnesota Golden Gophers, Jim, currently ranked number 1 in the nation. They come in at 9-0-1. Meanwhile, the Huskies at 6-6. Glad to bring this to you, Joe Rulin, along with Jim Giles. And Jim, I'm looking forward to this game.
Yeah, this really couldn't be any better. And this is a excellent matchup here in Andover. It is a conference. It is a conference game that is actually a non-conference. So both from the WCHA and for the Golden Gophers, they were number 1 and 9-0-1 coming in. Brad Frost's 16th year at the helm of the women's Golden Gophers program. Really only the second head coach. He's won 4 national championships. He's got 9 Frozen Fours. And Joe, you had a chance to have a conversation with Coach Frost before the game. Let's take a look at what he had to say.
It's time for us to get a moment here with the head coach of the Gophers, Brad Frost. And Brad, out to a phenomenal start already this year. 9-0-1, the shootout loss to Ohio State, but otherwise team hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah, it's been a great start to the season. We've got an exceptional team, and we've won some close games. We've also won some other games, but yeah, being 9-0-1 to come out of the gates has been great.
We also had a season once 41-0 in 2013. Those are some tough standards and expectations, and it seems each year your teams come out and play to a high standard. How do you get them to motivate and execute each night?
Well, every year is different, and we have different players on the team every year. We'll graduate some and bring some new in, and so it's really all about just setting the expectations and the culture for our team. And you know, we've got tremendous players, and so they want to play for the Gophers. They want to wear the M on their chest, and they know the expectations here in the state of Minnesota is to be really good at hockey.
Terrific. And then tonight, of course, the Hall of Fame game and a great environment. What do you expect from your team with, hey, third game in 4 days, a different type of arena here at Andover, just a different environment, but nonetheless, certainly a chance to perform in front of a lot of hockey legends.
Well, that's it, right? You're playing hockey. It doesn't matter how many games and how many days. It kind of brings you back to Minnesota high school hockey a little bit, and you know, section tournaments and things like that, where you're playing multiple games in a bunch of days. And so our team's really excited. Obviously, 2 Andover kids and Peyton, Hemp, and Maddie Kaiser, and we know that there's just going to be a ton of fans here, and they're going to get a great opportunity to watch 2 really, really good hockey teams, and it's fun to bring the WCHA women's hockey to Andover.
Well, it's great to have your team and that caliber with us here tonight. So thanks for joining us. Good luck tonight. Good luck the rest of the season.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Joe Rulin along with Brad Frost, head coach of the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Well, hey, just look at the crowd here tonight and look at the support. This thing was sold out in a matter of an hour, Jim, over 1,300 tickets. And I'll tell you, they're piped also because this St. Cloud State team under a new coach has really kind of found a little mojo.
Yeah, the 6th head coach. He is not a stranger to the WCHA. Spent 10 years up at North Dakota with the Fighting Hawks, and has actually was the Olympic coach for Team China in 2022. And so he is absolutely no stranger, knows hockey well. And you had a chance to sit down with Brian Adolski, and here's what he had to say.
We get a moment right now to speak with the head coach for the St. Cloud State Huskies in his first year, Brian Idalski. And Brian, 6-6 so far this season, but you come in with over 280 collegiate wins, and also, in addition to that, a lot of global European experience of teams as well. Is that reason why the team is off to such a good start, a reason because of that background that you have, but also you have a lot of European blend to your players as well?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the buy-in from the group. I think they've been, chomping at the bit for some respect and kind of, become one of programs that are respected nationally, and so they've been working hard to get to that point. So I think a lot of it has to do with our players.
Your power play and penalty kill have certainly been on a hot streak and playing well. But at 6-6 after 12 games, what do you like about this team? What do you see that's going well?
Well, I think it starts with our preparation. I think it starts with our ability to compete, to defend well, and like you said, our special teams have performed well so far this year, and that goes a long way to making us a competitive hockey team.
You've met up with this #1 team in the nation, the Minnesota Gophers, earlier this season, played them tough. What's your plan tonight to get that first victory of the year over them?
Well, first of all, you have to have a ton of respect for how talented they are and how much speed they have, and really a lot of times you're just defending and kind of holding on. But, we're going to compete, we're going to battle, and hopefully we can get a few bounces.
Coach Idalski, good luck tonight, good luck the rest of the season, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Well, there you get a listen to the first-year coach in the St. Cloud State Huskies, Brian Idalski. And I find it ironic because he spent some time over in, coaching a variety of international teams, over 280 victories already throughout his collegiate career as a coach. But the team that he has is very much a lot of European influence, and they have to play on that larger rink at St. Cloud State, and that's not always welcome for a lot of players, but they seem to be working well, Jim, earlier this season with that.
Yeah, and speaking with, you come out and your first 3 weekends are against the University of Minnesota, it's University of Minnesota Duluth, and Ohio State. It doesn't get any tougher than that, and they've come back. They're on a 4-game winning streak, so this is an awesome opportunity in front of a great crowd to get excited about St. Cloud State Husky hockey.
Yeah, and let's before this begins also, we'll be joining the public address announcer, Brian Sweeney, here shortly, but have a chance to meet with a member of the 1980 Olympic team going to be joining us here throughout this first period. And Buzz Schneider, welcome. Glad to have you with us.
Thanks for having us. It's a pleasure to be here.
Boy, we've got some things to kind of unfold here in this first period, and we'll do it intricately throughout. But I'm looking forward to getting some of your input, your perspective, and also to hear more about how they got the name of the Conehead. I think I know the Conehead line that you were on for the 80 Olympic team, and just some of those things you did throughout that season, and then working with Coach Brooks that you felt really kind of elevated the play of the team. But we'll unfold that as we finish up with the starting announcer introductions, in addition to some other components here for this very special evening that we happen to have here for the Minnesota U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame Face-Off Classic. Again, Joe Ruhlin, Buzz Schneider just to my right. What an honor to be here with him, and also an honor to be with Jim Childs.
So, Buzz, I got a question. Now, you went to high school in Grand Rapids, correct?
No, I was born in Grand Rapids.
Oh, you were born in Grand Rapids. Okay.
I lived in Coleraine, and I graduated from high school from Babbitt High School.
Oh, okay, great. So
back a few decades ago.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that everybody in the land in Andover land knows that he was not part of the Grand Rapids team, so we can listen to him. He's not part of Section 7. He's not against the Huskies. He's a true northern Minnesota 218 guy, but an absolute treat to have you with us.
Thanks. Yep, it's nice to be here with other 218ers.
Both teams are on the ice, getting ready to go against the #1 seed right now for the Minnesota Golden Gophers, the #1 ranked team in the country, undefeated in their first 10 games, taking on St. Cloud State Huskies, who come in with a mark of 6-6, and their power play and penalty kill for St. Cloud State has been vastly improved. It'll be key to watch tonight. We're going to take it down now to the public address announcer, Brian Sweeney. Well, we're looking forward to a high-paced, high-octane game tonight as the Gophers are coming off a sweep this weekend over Minnesota Duluth, and they've outscored their opponents so far this year, 52 goals to 30. And Jim, I'm looking forward to also the goaltending play on both of these squads.
Yeah, and in net for the Gophers tonight will be Skylar Vetter. She's 7-0 with 7-0-1, 1.8 goals against average and .926 save percentage. She's a sophomore out of Lakeville North. And we'll see Peyton Hemp here take the drop as Taylor Lind for the
Huskies.
Yes.
You got it. And
yep.
Very good look, a Kodak moment. It's always that puck drop. How many puck drops have you been involved in, Buzz?
I think I've been about, I don't know, 5 or 6. It's fun. You don't have to worry about who's winning it.
No, it's there was a time when I had worked with the Rangers, but we were playing the Pittsburgh Penguins, and it was in Denver with the farm system, but Phil Esposito was the general manager at that time, and then Tony just took over at Pittsburgh as the GM. Well, apparently there was some miscommunication on the puck drop because Mario Lemieux was extremely upset that he wasn't part of it, and I thought, it's just a puck drop. We're just going to pit it out, and then he wouldn't come out for the media meeting afterwards. It was funny how just those little things are dropping that puck, and I think it was Paul Coffey who actually dropped that puck that night, and I think it was Kelly Kissio for the Rangers. But still, hey, it's good to get things going. That puck drop signifies, I figured you probably have a history of ceremonial puck drops in your day as well. So good game ahead of us here. And again, the Andover Huskies have had a few wins consecutively, Jim, in this rivalry here the last couple of years.
Yeah, just a few. They're 60-0-3 over the last 12 years, and it has been all the Gophers as far as this rivalry goes. And like we saw 3 weeks ago, both these two teams had a weekend series. Gophers won both of them. Now, the one thing about the Huskies that I think is really a unique part, their defense is outstanding. They've only given up 2 goals in the last 4 games, including 2 shutouts. And in net is Shani Oholi, who is finished from Helsinki. She's 3-4, 2.55 goals against, but a good save percentage at .922.
Puck is dropped. We're underway. The actual puck has been dropped as Gophers are moving in that golden uniforms, moving left to right, trying to pounce out of the gate. You saw the starting lineups, and Madison Kaiser from Andover in that starting lineup on this Gopher squad, along with Peyton Hemp. I recall Peyton Hemp as a freshman covering on a high school game that she had committed to the Gophers. And I know now you can no longer do that. I have to wait until that junior year. If ice is the call here, the whistle, that'll bring it back on a face-off. It'll take place just to the left of Skylar Vetter. As you mentioned, Vetter comes in 7-0 with the goals against of 1.8 and a save percentage of .926 out of Lakeville North. And wow, it's standing room only, and then rows of standing room only here at the Andover Ice Arena.
How neat is it, Joe, to see Peyton Hemp and Maddie Kaiser back on the ice for the first time since 2019 when they won the state tournament?
Poke checked away there off the stick of Bulger by Hemp. It's to the corner now. The Huskies try to work it out. Pinching in, but not able to hold the zone. The Gophers, but that doesn't prevent them from putting more pressure on. This one leaks just beyond the blue line. A long lead pass does not connect, and they wave off the ice. Lynn put a stick on it, but could not control. The Gophers try to work their way back out. Far side now, and a chance for this high-powered offense of the Gophers. Zumwinkle there with a shot. Pad save is made by Uoli. And Uoli very strong between those pipes. Pinching in on a pass inside the blue line, and we will have a stoppage of play. And Buzz, when you were playing, and we're joined by Buzz Schneider, member of the 1980 Olympic team, and during that time, I believe it was it 7 goals you scored in the 1980 Olympics during that run?
No, I had 5 goals and 3 assists. 3 of us had 5 goals, Mark Johnson, myself, and Robbie McClanahan. No, I had a great Olympic tournament. It was a lot of fun.
How did you get those jitters out to start every game? I'm sure you had some nerves.
Going in, we were we're seated 7th, and we were just actually hoping for a bronze. And we played Swedish team first. They went up tying them the last second. Billy Baker got a goal, And then we end up playing the Czechs the second game of the tournament, and we consider them the second best team in the world behind the Russians. And that was probably our best game in the Olympics. I think we beat them 7-2, and we knew we're off for something good was going to happen.
Absolutely. I see there, you see this top line now out there for the Gophers. A chance on a breakaway. Newland puts a shot between the pads. Ricochets out. Back on the chance to hit the back there. And coming is Zumwinkle. Zumwinkle carries in near side. Now a vicious cut in front. Gets behind the goalie and swept to the corner by a teammate there for the Huskies. Good pressure and scoring opportunities for both of these teams here. Period number 1. Gophers try to move it up ice out of cadence here. They're going to fire it back and try to refuel. Now send it cross ice.
Dale Ross with a saving stick as for the Huskies, and she was able to pull that goal out before it went in.
Working it back there. You saw Hengler ringing along the board, pinching in now, an aggressive push by Boreen. Floats back on the stick. That time of Lightning. Poke checked in. Good job to try to hold that zone by Boreen again into the corner from the half wall. Near the playoff dot there. Safely by. Couldn't pull the trigger on the shot. Rolls off the stick there of the Gopher forward. Murphy controls here. Tries to get it back out in front. It's deflected to the half wall. At the near port here is Huskies, and they were able to lift it just beyond by Lynn. Not quite the length of the ice. They're going to try to catch Gophers. Going to try to catch St. Cloud on a line change. Back and rigging it behind the board to the far corner. Dangling along that blue line, and finally it's knocked back out to clear. We get a couple of the Zumwinkles. Emily Zumwinkle on defense right now for the Golden Gophers. No score, and that's the opening period of what I can tell you is going to be one exciting game in this Hall of Fame Classic. Glad to have it here at Andover, Minnesota, the rink, and we'll get you more details on that. We're actually going to be speaking also with both coaches, so the boys and the girls team both won the state tournament last year in hockey, and have a couple of discussions on that. Now Hemp back on the ice here for the Gophers. Norton sends it in, collision behind the net, absorbed. The puck moves out to the half wall, trying to seal off that from preventing any further, but they send it across to Ross, and St. Cloud State having some trouble coming out of their own end. We got some high energy going here for the #1 ranked team in the country, the Golden Gophers, undefeated in their first 10 games. Working behind the net, chipping at it. Gophers controlling play right now and really moving that puck, Buzz.
Yeah, nice job.
Continuing the pressure, and now finally around the face-off circle, St. Cloud picks it up and moves it beyond center ice. That's Newland, and she falls to the ice, heads to the bench for a quick change, and out back will come the Gophers once again. A shot there was diffused by a nice block defensively there for the Huskies. Zumwinkle drops it there. Skating in, Taylor Heisey. Heisey is just an outstanding player, a player of the week here just a couple ago. We'll get you some updates on that as well. It floats back.
She's a difference maker. All-American last year, first team All-American last year, and player of the year for the WCHA. Just an outstanding skater.
Stretch pass here just beyond the Rich. And it reached that time of Sky out. They'll continue to the corner. Down to the corner, battling out here, just first period, but you can see the stands just amassed with people here excited to watch this level of women's hockey. Both teams just 50 miles apart from one another. As hard to the board behind there, trying to control it and working at it. Finally, Hengler now back out front, redirected. Circling back behind is Murphy. She refuels and brings it up. Tries to split the defense, and finally she reacquaints herself with the puck. Murphy puts it there on the stick. Drop back. But Murphy shot here over the top of the net as she was trying to connect with Boreen. Off that shot, deflects beyond center ice. And the Gophers refuel here. A quick wrister. Zeroing in that time. It was to the side of the mark. Into the corner near side here is Getting a look at Boreen again. She is flying around the ice, and a little give and go back on that one-timer. Glove save, hashtag FTL, flashing the leather to make that save.
Yeah,
Is Ahola.
Yeah, moving to Boreen and made no mistake right into Ahola. Good save. Gentry for, you see right here, Gentry before for the Huskies had an opportunity, just fell right in front. That nice save by Ahola.
So Buzz, in these cases, defensive, how do you get a team like right now, the Gophers, from the buzz that they're on, no pun intended, but they're buzzing around the net, they're flying. How, as a player, what was a way that you found a way to get a team and get possession of that puck and redirect?
Just keeping doing what they're doing, going after it, and get some shots off in the net, and hopefully get a rebound. They're playing pretty good. Just haven't put it away yet.
But you were one of the veterans on the 80 team, right?
Yeah, I was the oldest guy. At 25,
yeah,
figure it out.
Yeah. And did they look to you for what it was going to be like when you went into the when you stepped onto the ice?
A little bit. I was a little bit more experienced than the rest of them. I played in about 4 world tournaments before that and stuff, and I played against the Russians and the Czechs previously to 1980. So I knew what they could do.
So one of the things is always physical. The Russians were always really physical and finish their checks. How did you feel?
Lynn skating in here just a minute. Drop pass here over the top. Unable to capitalize and settle that puck, but Lynn on a beautiful setup that time and unable to convert. Where the Huskies will get back to that question, Jim, in just a moment, as the Huskies almost lit the lamp that time as they were trying to counter and get out in front here. St. Cloud State out of their own end. Cross center ice. That's Balger who sends it deep. Coming out to stop that puck was Vetter in goal for the Golden Gophers. Hemp tries to pick it up near center ice. Hemp, again, the Andover native. 16 career goals already for the sophomore. Gets control, sends it in. Now sends a backhand. Goes past the face-off dot there to the right. Back behind now. A one-time shot. Hemp puts one on. The save is turned away there. Back again. Hemp has it to the corner. Hemp now in front. And we always saw her as a high school player, and she continues as a collegiate player. Very selfless player, but she works the full sheet of ice as well. You can talk about a little bit more about the Russians.
So when you stepped on the ice the first time against the Russians, what was the thing that you were most anticipating when you played them?
We played them about a week before in Madison Square Garden. We got beat like 10-2. I don't think it was even that close. So it was a good test for us, because when we got to Lake Placid, we knew if we could hang with them and keep it close, we might have a shot at it.
And you did.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we did. Yeah.
You did more than just keep it close.
Yeah.
Shocked the world. That was actually, I think, one of the first times ever you could use that statement. That win was just so impressive and sticks with a lot of people. So thank you for that effort. Thank you for that. And thanks for joining us here for this first period. Again, joined with Buzz Schneider here as the Golden Gophers try to jump out first. Across the blue line. That blast is deflected. Picking it up is Emily Zumwinkle. She'll skate in and send a hard wrister. Gloved and secured that time. Made by the Husky goalie Ahola. You can get a look at Goldie Gophers down at ice level, and now everybody wants a Kodak moment with Goldie Gopher. There is Zumwinkle coming in for her hard wrister to use the defense Wolf there as a shield. Off the face-off on the doorstep. Loose puck following up and covering that.
Sky right there on the doorstep. Good cover up by Buzz. Where was your spot on the net where you liked to shoot? What was you had an outstanding rocket. What did you do?
I wasn't one of those guys that could put it in spots. I used to kind of go for holes by the pipes, on the bottom of the pipes, on each pipe, and on the upper top shelf as well. And I just used to shoot as hard as I could.
Well, it was a shot.
In front there, trying to find a way by a stingy goalie out of Helsinki. Out of Helsinki is Ahola, and she's done a pretty good job so far. Shots on goal, they just have measured at 3-1, and it seems like it may be a little bit better than that.
It hasn't changed for a while, so I think think that may be off a little bit or a little delayed.
Face off on again by the North Stars. I want to call them the North Stars. I love the Gophers component. As they bring it up and rush diffuse there. Good job by Littinen, but now she's shadowed. Moving in St. Cloud there, Myers. Shadowing behind, still trying to shake the defender. There's Lightman. Moves it up ahead. And now in comes that dangerous line that has converged for high percentage. Taylor Heisey whistles one wide. Heisey with good goal production thus far in the season for her career. She has 103 goals as the number 9 Heisey. Here's her wrister. Wrister by Zumwinkle, now going after the puck and the rebound in the corner to the far point along the blue line. Poke checked away, able to sustain that pressure of the Gophers near the blue line, but finally diving to clear. And now on the stick of Lynn. Lynn carries in for St. Cloud. That drop pass gets by Burton, but a chance there. Not far behind was Himalorova, who put a shot on. Now Lynn behind, being bothered. Poked out there by Wethington. Gophers miss on the outlet pass, but the puck meanwhile moves back towards center ice, and St. Cloud promptly sends it back in. Himalova goes in for that, and this line starting to cause a little bit of offense and some pressure here on the Gophers. They take a shot, clean it up, and a long stretch pass now to Murphy. She skates in. Big blast this time over the top on the bounce, and it goes to the corner. Quickly back there is Emily Zumwinkle. Into the corner, and now just in front of a bunch of the Andover fans in that corner, trying to move it along and back up ice. Has good pressure here by the Huskies as they try to seal them in. Maureen now carries in for Minnesota. Drop pass there, now picked up by St. Cloud State. They're going to reverse and bring it back up ice. Bulger carries it. Looked like she was going to do a drop pass and sent a quick snipe and a whistler over top of the goal. Murphy now has it at half wall and skating up. Here come the Golden Gophers on a wrister, trying to squeeze out one short side, and unable to convert that time were the Gophers. Still no score, 8:28 to go. Teams that are used to putting that puck in the net, and you're starting to see kind of the flow of a high number of European players for the St. Cloud State squad. Reflected there and out. We saw kind of a different style of skating with the European players.
Yeah, the Europeans, I know when we used to play them and stuff, they're highly skilled, and they used to interchange positions real easily and stuff. So they all kind of play alike over there. But,
they do.
They play good hockey.
Well, somebody called 911 because Madison Kaiser almost got her goal here tonight. That was popping it in, not Kaiser, but Huber rather.
Yeah. So the Gophers, great job by Ahola, who's just not giving up any big rebounds. And she's swallowing it up.
Is indeed, and now here comes St. Cloud, just under 8 to go here for the Huskies opening period. Thanks for joining us tonight from the Andover Community Center and rink here. We are beyond SRO. The 1,200 seats that went on the market were gone in an hour, and you can see the standing room crowd and the fans here.
Beautiful crowd.
Well, they're not nearly as beautiful as I am, Buzz, but they're adequate. It's good to have them here, but the support, and you see the support here in this Andover community as a whole.
It's awesome.
Both teams winning the state title last year, both the boys and the girls, but just in the community, the growth.
Exactly. What a tradition.
Lifting it up here, poke check now, trying to carry out. Here comes Kaiser. Maddie Kaiser on the backhand, sends one through. She'll try to reacquaint herself with that puck in that far corner. Unable to hold the zone, Minnesota. Trying to navigate by the defender on the far side there. That was Norcross, but now it's Zumwinkle. Emily trying to work it out. One touch pass to Kaiser. Couldn't connect. Now Lynn carries in for St. Cloud. Working it, trying to circle back around, and St. Cloud tries to send it back down low. Lynn is there. Good stick handler. Shot from the dot, and that save is deflected to the near corner. Back possession again. Weslow sends it near point to far point. Kicking it up, and you can see the momentum shift here as Burton now helps in. Burton on the shot, nice and the set scores! Clara Hemilarova. For Hemilarova, that'll be goal number 8 on the season, and a couple of quick one-touch passes, and they buried it top shelf.
Yes, they did. They took excellent opportunity, took chances, and they got it.
Yeah, I think what was great about that is that was really the best puck possession, the longest puck possession they had in the zone, and you could see that offense circle down and be able to look out front as the defense for it all went below the line, left that Hemilarova wide open.
Great one-timer.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
it looks like you, Buzz. Great.
Probably better.
Hemilarova out of the Czech Republic, as I mentioned. She came in with 18 career goals, now with 19. That's her 8th of the season. Assist will go to Burton. Burton was buzzing on that net because really creating a couple of opportunities, good puck rotation. That's got to tell you out when you're chasing versus being able to apply the pressure.
Exactly.
Into the corner now as St. Cloud tries to clear, holding his own. Minnesota now just beyond center ice. Is there one goal of all of them in the Olympics that stands out in your mental hard drive more than another?
Well, during the Olympics, I think one of my best goals was against the Russians, getting the first one. West ended up at 1-1, and played with a great center by Mark Pavlich, and he caught everybody going the cross grain and passed it across, and beautiful. He set it up so wonderful. I just had a slap shot and put it in.
Impressive. We'll talk more about that line next break. This time Balger, near side, sent a pass across to the far point, but it was lifted just beyond the blue line. Again, we saw some more pressure for the Huskies as they try to extend that lead. They get moving, and some tape-to-tape momentum create some of those opportunities. Dumped in there to the corner. Now, one element they had was your line with Pavlich, as well, was called the Conehead line off of that Saturday Night Live skit, correct?
Yeah, that's what the boys from the East called it. But the Mark Pavlich had a little bit different story.
What was his story?
During the practices,
if you can share on air.
Yeah, sure. During the practices, Herbie always take the other 3 lines to work on the power play. He used to work on shooting on the goalie on angles and stuff. And Mark Pavlich says, we could be doing anything down here. We could be just like a bunch of cones. And but it was funny during the game. End up putting us on the power play. So.
Well, it's funny because as people are walking by, it's like you're in front of the net. You're getting cross-checked by people walking by.
Yeah, that was Lefty Kern, the 1972 silver medalist goalie.
Yeah.
He's on the Hall of Fame board and museum as well.
Well, you'd swear that he was, working the leather in front of the net trying to keep it free.
I think so.
Chance there, close one. Oh, couldn't quite close it up. Off the face-off there, and a save made also by the Huskies netminder. The attempt by Boreen. Now in the corner, they collaborate, and finally it's Minnesota with the puck. Hard wrister from the far point there is deflected over the top after the shot by Weddington. Whistle here, offside with 4 minutes to go. This was right off the face-off.
Yeah.
And I call that trying to slip that under the garage door.
Exactly.
Under the pads, but wonderful job there by Ohole. And Ohole has just been phenomenal here in this first period.
I agree. She's been playing great.
And Jim, you're right. She's the rebounds she's given up are minimal.
Yep.
Now chance back the other way. Here, St. Cloud with a hard wrister. Bouncing puck and trying to tip that biscuit by. And a good pressure brought in by St. Cloud State once again, and that was Bourgerie.
So sorry to hear about line mate Mark Pavlich's passing recently, and I know that you three were really close even after. I believe from what I've read.
Yeah, Mark and I were good friends. I know John Harrington from Virginia, And my wife, she's from Eveleth, and our families knew each other and stuff, so I knew Mark real well. He was a great person.
The Iron Rangers is what I heard possibly was a nickname as well.
Yeah, all three of us, we all played the same style up there on the Iron Range back in the 70s and 80s and stuff, so we all had that chemistry together. We kind of knew what each other was doing. It worked out really well.
Do you ever get down to Mankato State and watch John Harrington coach?
I was down there a couple years ago, and he's doing a nice job down there, and they're playing well this year.
Making progress, you bet. So, again, that was such a critical line for the team in the 1980 Olympics, and you guys would always kind of create that spark. Buzz Schneider joins us. We just had a chance to speak of Mark Pavlich, who was on the line, who just passed. And then, of course, John Harrington as well. Here's a wrister, top of the face-off circle. Makes it all the way through by Scribner. Forced to save there by Vetter. Kicking back up front here. And again, St. Cloud State, they have them chalked for about 4 shots on goal. I'll tell you, they've been peppering Vetter here in this first period in a 1-0 lead. That goal coming from Himralavo. And working back, drop pass, shot from the dot. That's turned away, and no rebound once again. Hemp comes in storming with an opportunity there.
Yeah, Hemp just came in, right, like you said, right into the dot, ripped it right onto Ahola. And again, no rebound. You've got 2 skaters that are skating in right there, and she just is great at not giving up that second shot opportunity.
Exactly. She's not letting them have the other opportunity.
Just inside the blue line, Norton tried to send it deep. It's captured there by St. Cloud, and they'll send it back. A backhand trying to work their way out that time, Wethington, but it's St. Cloud State putting the clamps on and bracketing the pressure here at half wall. Regain possession, Savar. Savar sends it back to Newland. Newland lets that go to the far corner. Just under 2 to play, opening period here from Andover, Minnesota. It is a 1-0 lead for the St. Cloud State Huskies. 6-6 coming into this battle. Meanwhile, Gophers undefeated in their first 10 games. Shootout defeat against Ohio State. There's their 1 mark on it. Long pass here, connecting, getting behind. Zumwinkle that time was Lynn. She is dangerous and a burst of speed with that puck. Good passer as well. Burton captures back up now from the near side. Up the center ice, chipped ahead, but not in, as Lynn obstructs and tries to pick up. A chance there for the Gophers, and Murphy pitchforks one from one blue line to the other. It's glove put down and sent in by Bulger. Approaching a minute to go in this first period. Zumwinkle engineers it out of her end, trying to diffuse that motion up ice, and a nice job done there by St. Cloud. Sent back in. Vetter has company coming behind her. I don't know if she saw that or not, but Scribner fires one on, but that's just off the mark. Pinching in on the far point to hold the zone. What's St. Cloud? Lofting it high in the air off the stick. Loose puck. Oh, they score! St. Cloud State picks up the garbage. A loose change in front of the net, and Scribner deposits it back of the goal. And St. Cloud State has taken a 2-0 lead. Boy, that's the result of all that activity.
Yeah, Minnesota had 12 shots against St. Cloud 6, and boy, they didn't capitalize it. It's coming back to haunt them a little bit now.
That one just, it seemed like that just got a little sloppy with who you take it out, get it, and it went right onto the backhand of Scribner. Scribner, a nice shot right there. Sometimes I can roll off the stick, and she was able to put it right in the back of the net.
Lifted that backhand just under the arm of the outreach glove there of Vetter. 2-0 lead, but I'll tell you, when St. Cloud gets buzzing, they get some activity going, and Coach Brad Frost checking on a high stick. We saw Vetter kind of whack the puck out of the air, but she didn't get it to the corner. It ended up just in front of her. And I'm not sure if the high stick occurred just before that stick activity by Vetter. So 2-0 lead, St. Cloud State. Trying to end the schneid of consecutive losses to this Gopher squad.
We've got a penalty coming up. I believe it's on Heisey. Taylor Heisey will go out for a high stick.
So a quick chance here for St. Cloud State to extend their lead on the power play.
Herbie used to call the 2-goal lead the worst lead in hockey. The next goal. If you're down, you get a goal, you're right back in. If the other team gets one, they're pulling away.
Boy, how was his mindset with you with that 2-goal lead? Telling you to dig harder and get it to 3, don't relax.
Exactly.
Oh. What?
This is going to be an interesting game right now.
Quite an experience. I could sit and chat with you until the lights go off tonight. Buzz Schneider about this experience.
Playing for Herbie, though, I played for him 3 years at University of Minnesota, and I've never seen him make a bench mistake. All the time, all the games, he was so well prepared. It was awesome. It was fun to play for him.
Number one thing that I think people underestimate is that preparation. So.
We were well conditioned. We're probably the best well conditioned team in the world. We had 4 lines, and boy, we really went.
Behind the St. Cloud net, they'll bring it up and try to engineer their way on the power play. Lynn gets a shot, pad save made there by Vetter, and she guides it to the corner. And we are at the end of 1 complete as St. Cloud State Huskies have a 2-0 lead over the number 1 ranked team in the nation. Hey, I want to thank Buzz Schneider for stopping by and joining us.
I enjoyed it. You guys do a great job. Thank you. Hope to see you again.
Thanks for the education as well on the game itself.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thanks for your commitment to the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame, too.
What's that?
Thank you for your commitment to the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, thanks for your commitment to the Hockey Hall of Fame.
What's that?
We're going to take a break and get some things rolling here.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So at the end of the first period, it's 2-0. Huskies are up on the Golden Gophers. Bit of a surprise coming out, and we'll take a quick break and be back with some more stuff happening at the Andover Community Center here on this U.S. Hall of Fame extravaganza. The St. Cloud State Huskies are on their upset bid with a 2-0 lead over the Golden Gophers. Hey, this past high school season, 2 champions were crowned in hockey, both by dramatic 1-goal victories, which made the state of hockey and the city of Andover the city of champions. Joining Joe are the 2 head coaches of the Andover Huskies, Melissa Volk and Mark Manney.
An epic opportunity to be joined by the dynamic duel of high school coaching in the city of Andover. Head coach for the girls is Melissa Volk. Meanwhile, head coach Mark Manney. For the boys, winners of last year's state tournament for both of you. That's astounding. Melissa, first of all, this is your 2nd state tournament you captured in 3 years. Talk to me about that experience last year and what was that journey all about?
Well, it was such an honor. We had such a young team last year. Kind of going into the season, we were definitely more of an underdog team. So to be able to capture that state championship with such a young team, it was just such an honor for our community and for our team.
And Marquette, your team winning it as well a couple of weeks later, 2021-22 team. Did you see that in the making with that team?
No, to be honest, I thought we missed our opportunity in 2020, and we were a little young and dumb last year too, and just went and played the underdogs in the last 4 games. So we had to beat some pretty good squads to get there.
Melissa, what do you guys do in terms of preparation, day in and day out, but also last year ranked #1 most of that season, and having that expectation and really kind of a target on you? How did you prepare each game, each practice?
We try not to think about that ranking, definitely. Every practice, just working hard, working on whatever we're focusing on, and just trying to, it's pretty cliche, but just getting better every day. So at the end of the season, you're playing your best hockey.
What did you see, Mark, in terms of leadership from the team? You had mentioned the year before you had anticipated that kind of being the year, but it came out of, I wouldn't say out of the dark, but everything cleared the way. And what did you see as some key points or key triggers to your season?
I think we had kind of the perfect group, kind of like Melissa's. Our talent was young. We had seniors that only wanted to win. They didn't care about personal stats. And when you have that combination of leaders who are team-oriented and young skill that doesn't have to worry about some of the outside distractions, and they just kind of play free, you got a chance. And so that's kind of what we saw.
Was there a moment that stays with you from 2 of the last 3 years or last year that you kind of take with you about that whole experience and the commitment put towards it?
Yeah, not exactly one total moment, but I know like last year I was just so proud of them. I mean, they were the epitome of just hard work and that team first mentality like Mark talked about, where it wasn't about the individuals, it was just about that team and just really, really focusing on the team, regardless of your role on that team, and just really wanting to win regardless of yourself.
And what's something, Coach Manney, that you find yourself kind of maybe using this year as an experience, or even with your vast experience, Air Force One pilot, where does that championship fall for you, and what were some things that you remember about it?
Well, I think it's one thing to pursue your own dreams and hopes, but to stand there and watch other people achieve their dreams is a very incredible and powerful feeling. And so probably right at the top, getting the chance to watch those kids throw their gloves and stuff up in the air and celebrate was quite a thrill for me.
It is. You got characters on both teams and just pure skill, but I'll tell you, the victories that you two put together and the teams last year are certainly memorable for Andover. Congratulations on those, but even more so, hey, the dynamic duel that the two of you provide, and I can see the competition between the teams, and good luck this season. Thanks for joining us. Have a chance to speak with the Andover girls and boys high school coaches, both state champions last year for the boys and the girls for 21-22 season. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Intermission of the first period. Huskies up 2-0 over to the Golden Gophers, the #1 Golden Gophers. And this is the U.S. Hall of Fame exhibit, their exhibition. It's not an exhibition. It's actually a full conference game, our non-conference game. And one of the Hall of Famers that we have with us today, he played for 10 years in the NHL. He also, more importantly, played in the Minnesota State High School Tournament as the leading scorer for Minneapolis Roosevelt. And we're going to send it down to Joe, who's got Reed Larson with him.
Hey, we're joined with Reed Larson, and Hall of Famer, hockey guru, and I'll tell you what, probably one of the hardest shots in the game. Reed, thanks for joining us, and it was always a pleasure to watch you play.
Yeah, it's an interesting game tonight. St. Cloud and Gophers, always a great rivalry, whether it's the boys and the girls. St. Cloud up 2-0. Looks like Gophers are putting under pressure, but you know hockey, you can spend the whole period in one end and still be down. Yeah,
they were buzzing, was St. Cloud State, and finally able to light the lamp for a couple. Let's talk about you and your career here with the Minnesota Gophers, and then going on with an extended career with the Detroit Red Wings. What sticks out for you as favorite times and some great memories in the NHL and with the Gophers?
Well, growing up in South Minneapolis, you know, I'd sneak over to the Gophers, the old Mariucci Arena, Williams Arena at the time, and do some open skating and hide in there until the game started. So it's always a dream to play for, you know, the Gophers growing up in Minneapolis. So that dream came true. Played for Herbie Brooks in a couple of years, and we got to win a national title in Denver, and then were drafted by the Red Wings, who were dead last in the league. But hey, you know, my dream was to get to the NHL, and the University of Minnesota made that possible.
Yeah, it extended that as well through a long career in the NHL. And how did you get such a hard shot? How did you work on that?
Well, I get asked that a lot, and you know, growing up, I think the players are more balanced. They do a little bit of everything well. But growing up, you know, you had stick handlers, you had skaters, you had, you know, wrist shot guys, a slap shot guys that would hit, you know, check and so forth. So I just got intrigued with some older players at the Sibley Park in South Minneapolis, and we were curving sticks and over, you know, in hot pans of water and torches and just staying out shooting pucks and rubber pucks and just experimenting. So, and I started shooting in the garage, and you know, at that time, growing up in South Minneapolis, you could wrestle, you could play football, you could do gymnastics. I mean, it was just whatever you wanted to participate. So a little combination of experimenting, doing a lot of repetition, and a lot of different sports and exercises. And, you know, some people spend a lot of time in stick handling. I just spent a lot of time at shooting.
Is there a moment of your NHL career that sticks out, a particular accomplishment or a moment there?
My rookie year, got to play in the All-Star game in Buffalo in 1978, and I'll always cherish that team picture. I'm going back now, and it was a lot of new players, but you know, when you had Guy Lafleur and Steve Shutt, Larry Robinson, Ken Dryden, Darryl Sittler, you know, Yvonne Cornway, Serge Savard, you know, I can go down the list, the French Connection line, and Richard Martin, René Robert, and Gilbert Perreault. So that was amazing. I was sitting there as a 20-year-old in the dressing room watching these guys play and playing with them for the All-Star game. And then the other one was another All-Star game in Joe Louis Arena when I got to play with Gordie Howe. So that was about a 15-minute standing ovation. And I remember coming out, being introduced, because I was the home player for the home team, and I was second to the last guy, and it was a tremendous ovation for 15 minutes. And I turned around, I'm going, what the heck's going on? And there's Gordie standing on the bench. So it was pretty funny.
It's a great experience, and I'll tell you, it's been some good play tonight. How do you see the play, hey, at the college level today than when you played with the Gophers?
Well, the college level, you know, like I said, instead of one or two good lines, there's 4 good lines. Everybody can skate. Everybody moves the puck. Very smart play. And even the girls, you guys have just, it's amazing how far they've come. And this game here, you know, Gophers are putting on pressure, but the St. Cloud's, you know, playing good defense, and they're not giving Gophers a whole lot of great chances. So.
Well, Reed Larson, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for joining us. Congratulations, a Hockey Hall of Famer, former Minnesota Gopher, also longtime Detroit Red Wings. We're going to get back to Jim up at the studio to get us updated and recap from the first period.
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is him. Every day he's hungry for something. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that he's a good person. I think the advice I would give is you don't need to know all the answers. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as it's coming from love, then it kind of starts to work itself out.
Welcome back. We're minutes away from the second period of this Division I and WCHA matchup, non-conference matchup, even though they're in it. And this first period, the Gophers came out strong, and a couple of excellent opportunities that rolled right through the crease. Gophers had plenty of opportunity, and then it kind of switched over. The momentum switched over to the Huskies, and both goalkeepers at the beginning. Skylar Vetter for the Golden Gophers, outstanding, and Shani Ahola was outstanding as well. As you can see right there, a couple of goals, and that one-timer, little give and go, came right to Carla Hemlovia, assisted by Taylor Lind and Bailey Burton. And second goal came from Addie Scribner with 41 seconds left, and 11 seconds later, the penalty on Taylor Heisey. And so the St. Cloud State Huskies will come out with a power play for the next minute and a half. Heisey will go to the box, and we've had an outstanding night so far. More to come as we get into the next period. Joe, are you tired? I mean, you're putting some tread on those shoes.
There's an opportunity here. It's just the syllables. Some people have steps, mine syllables. I count my syllables over the course of the day, but hey, we are joined by a legend here for period number 2. From South St. Paul, where he played his high school hockey. We just had a chance to speak with Reed Larson, and I don't know how, but I got a 2-minute roughing penalty from Reed Larson just from that interview, and then after it, and then he wanted to take some blistering laser shots on me as well after the interview. Well, we're joined by Phil Housley. Thank you for joining us, and enjoyed watching your career with Buffalo and the success, unbelievable. So thank you for joining us, and looking forward for your input, and we're going to peel back some other questions as well.
Well, thanks for having me. It's really good to be a part of the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame game. St. Cloud is sort of surprising Minnesota right now, but it's great to bring some awareness to the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame, and the perseverance of the hall, and make sure people are aware that we're trying to preserve our heritage.
Absolutely, and boy, it is just a joy to see it. And there's a score. Right in the lamp, third goal, power play goal. The Huskies, who have been putting together a hot streak here on the power play and the penalty kill, are able to take advantage.
That was
light the lamp.
Yeah, Captain Taylor Lind.
Well, she's been buzzing in the
yes.
She's been all around the net in that first period, and Phil, St. Cloud up 3-0, but they're buzzing and putting some activity on that.
Yeah, I thought in the first period they laid back a little bit. Any puck that was turned over, they got into their 1-2-2 sort of passive neutral zone forecheck, and they sat back, but I think they were just trying to play sound defensively and jumped on some opportunities early in the first period to make it 2-0, and big power play goal by them to make it 3-0.
Working it in, I know Adelsky's one of his focuses was, hey, we can improve our penalty kills and our power plays. That's something we can just work on, and since they have, they've been putting together wins along with goals and capitalizing on those opportunities and not allowing any goals on those penalty kills. So 3-0 lead. Lynn with that goal on the doorstep here, trying to settle the puck and put a backhand by the Husky goalie, unable to do so. It goes back behind the net as the Gophers trying to counter, as they would like to cut into this 3-goal deficit. The number 1 ranked team in the country, led by Brad Foss. Murphy there has the puck roll off of Hurstick, lunging ahead. And moving it up ice that time is Hall. They'll make some wholesale line changes on the fly here for St. Cloud State. In front, a shot coming out that back door on a far post wraparound attempt to that time by Scribner. Here's a whistle, a snipe, and a save is made. That one by Newland. Went back and no ice, but the race to the puck there ensues, getting there first.
Well, just speaking about St. Cloud's power play on that 3rd goal, I mean, when you work on a power play, it really comes down to the basics of just shooting the puck and getting to the net. And I believe Lund jumped on a huge rebound there to make it 3-0. But I've been really impressed with St. Cloud defensively in their own end. They're very good positionally. They're not giving much in the inside of the middle of the ice. Well, you know, Minnesota's done a great job in the offensive zone, cycling the puck, but it's all on the perimeter.
Well, as a long-time all-star defenseman with Buffalo, I'm sure you led a lot of those power plays. And what did you look for your avenue when you would carry it out and start up?
Well, you gotta have shots, right? It starts with shots and volume, but eventually the plays will open up. But you look at mostly power plays, shots from the flank, good screens and rebounds, and that's pretty much the recipe of a good power play.
Jim, they gave out some assist on that goal, that power play goal.
They did it, and I'm too busy listening to Phil tell us what about the power play. I'm taking notes on that, so I'll get you the assists. Phil, you saw Boreen down there with that puck just on the backhand. It sits there. How long does it, as a player, when you were there, when you got an open goal and it's right off your stick, how do you feel? Does it take?
Well, you know, it's funny because you think it should be a bang-bang play, and sometimes the puck is spinning.
Yeah.
And sometimes it spins right off your blade, and you're going, how did that happen? I had an open net. You know, I had a 6x4, and it doesn't happen. But it's funny, those little things that sometimes can work against you, but it's certainly an opportunity blown.
St. Cloud tried to up the ante there, a 3-0 lead already, and some more pressure. The shot now deflects back out to center ice, and the Huskies wheel and deal and send it back in, but carrying out Norton. She misses on a pass cross ice, and the Gophers now back behind in that, trying to center, and there it deflects back out front.
You could just see St. Cloud, what they're doing. They're packing it in. You know, they're not giving many opportunities right out in front of the goaltender. And you can see any transition Minnesota has, they got really good defensive structure in the neutral zone. There's not a lot of speed created by Minnesota coming through the neutral zone because of that good defensive structure.
Yeah.
So here's a little key that we have on a need to know by Joe. And coming into this game, the Huskies were 101-3 against the Gophers, and their last win occurring in February 13th of 2010. So now you're going to see St. Cloud probably pack it in even more with that 3-0 win.
Oh, what a save by Ahola.
Keeps that focus.
Quick glove save.
Yeah, the goaltender for St. Cloud is I just really like, she's just really square to the puck, and she's just not the puck hitter. Does a really good job on her angles. There's not much to shoot at, and she's got a terrific glove, obviously.
Yeah. There's two right there, where she's, as Joe would say, hashtag FTL, flash the letter. Sorry to steal that, Joe.
That's all right. It's a good wrister, top of the face-off circle, and she has, but that glove, it's like a silencer. It's so quiet. And you said in that first period as well, Jim, that she's minimizing those rebounds. In the corner, digging it out here. The Gophers trying to work it free. Finally, they do. A blast from the far point. Misses the net. Litton in there's going to chip it ahead, but not enough, as Scribner moves it up through neutral ice and back on the stick of Minnesota.
Nice to see the referees are really swallowing the whistle. It's not, I mean, they're not calling ticky-tack call or falls.
I totally agree with you. Just for that play in the corner, a little physicality, you know, they're letting them play, which is great.
Lightnall there was trying to get something rocking there for this Gopher squad. She heads to the bench. We've got a collision in front of the Gophers bench. A pile up as everyone rushes up and gets onto the plate. Drop pass there to Kaiser, Maddie Kaiser.
So Phil, when do you shorten your bench? When do you start, when you're down 3-0, when do you start shortening your bench?
Well, I think still a lot of time. You know, if Minnesota gets one back in the game, I wouldn't do it the third period. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of talent on Minnesota. They're going to try to keep it fresh, roll them over, try to turn the tempo up. I really like what St. Cloud is doing. Defensively, they're right in the face of Minnesota every turn.
And the focused goalie as well, as she's been outstanding here. And early in the second period, with just about 14 to go here in the second. Moving it back across, there's Norcross. Norcross had it there, back in, poking, prodding there. Bounce all beyond the blue line.
There's just layers. Like they pass people off to the person in that position, and there's always layers. You beat one of us, you're going to have to beat two or three, and it's really, really good structure in their own defensive zone.
Some of those modifications you see first-year head coach for St. Cloud State already making, Brian Idalski. Poke checked, now ahead, now moving out of the zone. Here comes St. Cloud. They have a 2-on-1, could be a 3-on-1. A saucer pass there, and a scoring opportunity diffused by a nice play by the Gophers. Now they'll counter and try to reciprocate the pressure. Once again, poke check there off the stick of Murphy.
Emily Zamwonko did a nice job of handling that 2-on-1.
Maureen kicks it in. On the doorstep there, a backhand to the half wall. Littenden back in. He's trying to create some havoc, and she's done that a couple of times, but unable to close. And she's out there on the ice, have been the Gophers. Myers, meanwhile, drifts it and chips it to the corner, allowing team to make some wholesale changes.
I know it's only midway through the second period, but the possession numbers are going to be crazy. If Minnesota loses this game, they're going to go, how in the heck did we lose the game?
Himlarova there, but you're right. It's the old, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Good dangle there, the toe drag by the Gophers, but unable to get a shot on. Into the corner, circling. Now they bring in that line there, based by Heisey. A backhand diffuse, loose puck, and almost an opportunity. This blast hits traffic in front and absorbing that.
But you can see that right there. One shot hits the net, it's being cleared right away. There's no second opportunities right now for Minnesota.
Gophers work their way back up ice here. And there's a penalty coming up on St. Cloud. That's Lind. Whistle for probably a hook on Heisey.
Well, you know how talented Heisey is. You want to stay right on her. But that's probably just a little bit too far, huh?
Yeah, anytime you get your stick in there, the can opener, they call it, it's going to be called. It's a big kill for St. Cloud right now.
Well, you mentioned the Gophers get one more goal, or they get a goal, and it's 2-1. It's a 2-goal game, anybody's game at that point.
St. Cloud State 8 for 8 on the weekend kills over the weekend versus Bemidji State. In fact, they've had successful penalty kills their last 25 penalties, which probably cues the Gophers to score right now. Outstanding work there. Down low, a shot. Tries to slip between the pad and the post. Leaks through. And now back to the corner. Trying to set it up on that power play opportunity once again. Minnesota, they continue to dig at it. 11.5 to play here in the second. Back out. Turns, fires, puts a shot on, and a save once again made. Moving in, shot from the dot, score! She put that top shelf. Heisey put it with the peanut butter in the top shelf, and that was a snipe.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great play, individual play by number 9. And I looking at their power play, they're attacking low down by the red line, which is not a very high percentage shot. But finally, number 9, Taylor Heisey, gets loose and finds a corner in the upper top shelf there.
Shot from just below the dot by Heisey, and she picks up a key goal here to cut into that deficit. It would be her 11th goal of the season, but you can't stop what you can't see.
Yeah, I mean, good traffic in front, but I mean, that was a perfect shot. I mean, the goaltender's been exceptional up to this point. It had to take a perfect shot to beat her.
As the Gophers try to mount a comeback, and how important is that for you as a player psychologically? I know we were talking to Buzz Schneider. He said that 2-0 lead is always dangerous. Then it gets to 3. Does that help the mindset, or you just kind of have to keep chipping away when you break that goose egg?
Well, you broke the goose egg, number 1, and now, you get some life, you get some momentum, but now you can beat the goaltender because she's been pretty stellar up to this point.
She has. She has been a stone wall, or a soft stone wall, because she's absorbed so many shots and not allowed rebounds. But Heisey on that one, wow, what a missile. What a snipe. First goal of the night. Go ahead.
See why she's a first-team All-American. It's got 175 now total career points for the Gophers.
Yeah, she likes to dangle. I mean, she can beat you one-on-one. She's very elusive. Just watching her tonight, and got a really good high IQ. Where to put the puck, where to be. But that shot was exceptional. I mean, that's probably going to go on any goaltender in college hockey.
Getting the loose puck there, fluttering high to the half wall, and Gophers now kind of getting their buzz on. Just as I say that, they work it back out. St. Cloud put it on the stick. The Gophers for this breakout as they exchange the puck through neutral ice. Just deflecting into the netting, and 9:40 to go in this second period. It's a 3-1 lead for St. Cloud.
Phil, when you're defending a team that has just a lot more the puck possession, do you get tired out more often? I mean, is it because you're chasing the puck, but at any time you feel like something's going to happen?
Yeah, I think you got to be patient and believe in what you're doing, because if you're going to sit back and you're going to tighten it up in the defensive zone, you just got to trust one another to do their job. They've done a great job of taking away any second opportunities away from Minnesota. They've only allowed the power play goal, and I think it's a good game plan. And if the coach is going to bring that game plan, execute the game plan, and you can see the rewards right now with a 2-goal lead.
Just stay that process, right, and keep at it. As you saw Madison Kaiser skate in there, Andover native, who took the shot, deflected over the top of the net. And it's the face-off, and now St. Cloud controls. Keep in mind, for St. Cloud, first time in 25 power plays and penalty kills that they've allowed to go, rather. Impressive numbers there. Looking, this snipe hits the defense. That was Savara. Now to Newland. Newland top of the circle. They're trying to find that buzz that they had earlier. Rolls off the glass near the front. Newland there has a deflect out to the near point. And now a carry-out opportunity here for the Gophers. They now break in. A shot diffused there by good defensive play. And that'll draw to a face-off.
You said it, good defensive play, and they've made a lot of them this game up to this point, where their one-on-one play has been exceptional. They haven't been beaten in their own zone one-on-one very rarely in this game, which says a lot about their game plan approach for Minnesota.
Speaking of defensive plays, is there one that sticks in your head that you've had that you've loved to take away from those NHL days with Buffalo?
Well, I mean, it's tough to pinpoint something. I just was happy I didn't get beat one-on-one that game. Or I was chasing coming back because I was up in the play. But it's funny, I just did an article for NHL.com, and it's coming out about young defensemen in this league and how much of an impact they have, jumping in right away. Some have taken a little bit longer. You look at guys like Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes, and now Rasmus Dahlin, who I had in Buffalo when I was a head coach. But it's amazing, these guys, how they can play, how they can have an impact with their teams. It's great to watch.
Certainly, the speed of the game has accelerated, and I'll tell you, coming from that blue line, they can create a lot of offense.
Yeah, they're joining the rush as many times as possible, and you'll see a lot of the coaches preach that. We need that, get that fourth man attack, 5 guys in the zone on the cycle, and you said it, the speed of the game, the transition of the game is so much faster. NHL's provided a really good product thus far.
Yeah, it is. So as a coach, how did you enjoy that time, managing playing time and then just managing agents and everything else along with GMs?
Well, the GM handles the agents. I don't, but
yeah.
I started out in Nashville 4 years. We went to the Stanley Cup final, my 4th year there, and what a terrific experience getting back to the Cup finals. And then head coach in Buffalo was great. I mean, you have to have a message every day, and you have to create relationships within the players, and then there's got to be a belief and a culture, right? And those things aren't done overnight. And but I enjoyed that part of it, and I joined that challenge.
How did you kind of create that culture as a coach? What things did you do?
Well, I think you have to have a message right away. You have to have a trademark, something that guys can believe in, come to the rink every day, and you have to have great leadership. That's where it starts. The coach comes in for about 4 or 5 minutes, and then it's their locker room, and you really got to trust that leadership to be an extension of you.
Now you jumped from high school coaching back into NHL coaching, right?
Yeah. It's sort of ironic because it's sort of the same path I took as a player, and I did a lot of things for USA Hockey. They had a big impact, not only my playing career but my coaching career with the World Juniors when we won the World Junior Championship in 2018 and some national teams, and then was able to make that jump from high school to Nashville, which it's great to talk about USA Hockey and the Hockey Hall of Fame. It's so important for a lot of the kids growing up today to recognize the people that came before them.
Well, the NBA, you have jumping from high school. It's becoming more and more common from high school to the NBA. But for you, what was it like leaving South St. Paul and making that step, and when did you know, hey, I'm here, I made it?
Well, it's a funny story because I played in the World Junior team that year for Team USA my high school year in December, and I had a 2-game tryout for the national team. And I made the team, so we flew over to Tampere, Finland. I was part of the Team USA, played with Buzzy Schneider, Mark Johnson, Mike Ramsey, a lot of those guys that they're in the 80 Olympic team. And it really gave me a great measuring stick. South St. Paul School allowed me to go. Doug Wood was my head coach and said it's a great opportunity. You can catch up on school when you get back. But that was my measuring stick. I knew I could hang with those guys, and I said if I get drafted, I'm going to try to go pro. So things worked out. Been very fortunate.
That's a great story. I've always wanted a break-in, sealing in, a quick opportunity there. Both goalies, as we get a puck fluttering high, and I'm surprised Jim didn't come up and flash the leather for that save.
It probably would have gone right off the forehead.
Get a look from behind the bench here and out towards our venue here. You can see the sellout crowd and the snipe coming here.
I was going to say St. Cloud, hey, pumping your tires, open shooting pucks at us up here.
Yeah, exactly.
Shot back through, and
again, no rebound. There's just no rebound. The Gophers are crashing on the net, and it just ends up with a face-off.
Yeah, and the defensemen in front are tying up sticks, and they're boxing out really well. They've been very stingy in front of their net tonight.
I'll tell you, last year during the Andover Huskies, and again this game coming from Andover, Minnesota, both teams winning the state boys and girls last year, but on the boys side, and you see it with the girls as well, it all keys off that blue line. And last year, I know for the Huskies, they had a couple of good blue liners, Knox being one of those. He'll be going to the Air Force Academy, but it just guides and steers, and you can just tell it pushes that momentum up ice.
Yeah, you can see it at any level, right? At college level, the NHL level. You have to have those pieces on the back end. The transition is such a huge part of the game. you can break down forechecks, with one pass. You can join the rush. You can add to the offense, add the attack. It's so important in today's game.
Poked ahead. Here come Minnesota, sending it across. Zumwinkle unable to get a stick down or reach for that opportunity. Back out there again. Heisey with her power play goal. Lit the lamp earlier here this period and cut into the 3-goal deficit. Now 3-1. Circling in the corner, Zumwinkle again.
Sky at number 3 has done a nice job on the forecheck tonight.
This one's poked and sent back into the Gopher end of the ice. Of all the coaches you had, and I know some of those components, but which one sticks with you the most? In fact, what was one of your favorite coaches?
Well, I like Scott. He took a chance on a high school kid coming out of South St. Paul. Really let me play my game. Developed me. Learned a lot about what it took to be a pro and an everyday player, and I credit him with a lot to start my career.
And you said, who was that?
Scotty Bowman.
Yep.
You know that guy?
Oh, might have heard of him once or twice.
I think didn't he introduce you at the your induction ceremony for the Hall of Fame?
Yes, he did, and it was just a great honor in 2015 to become a member of the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto, and those things my kids were able to enjoy because they're a little bit older. Because my playing career, they were young, and they were there for the ride and had fun. But it was really great to have my family there. They've supported me throughout not only my playing career but my coaching career, and so it was a great honor.
How did Bowman? How well? You obviously communicated very well.
He was tough though. He tried to get the most out of you, and I don't know if tactics in today's game would be able to do that, but back in the day, he tried to make you better.
And as you watch these experienced players, and out here for the Gophers in St. Cloud State, they'll skate in here and trying to work around and being triangulated there. As you said, St. Cloud State kind of moving it back. Now here's a chance to the far corner. St. Cloud gets their first, stops, reverses ice, looks to center, still dangling, still with it on the tape now to the near corner.
Well, it's amazing. They're tracking St. Cloud coming back into their own zone. I mean, they've outnumbered Minnesota, on pucks and loose pucks and just defending. It's been a real treat to watch tonight. I haven't seen a game, a women's game, in a long time live, and I just can't believe how much the game has advanced. These girls are very, very good, and you can see why they're great athletes.
Joe, we've done a lot of high school, and I think we've said that every year, is it seems like the women's game gets better and better with the speed and the stick handling and physicality. It's a fun game to watch.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they're passing. You look at their breakouts, their transition for both teams. They're finding that open player with speed, and it's just, and the passes are on the tape. They're crisp. Even some saucer passes, I was like, wow, that was a heck of a pass. Yeah. And it's a credit to them, the organizations, their schools. They've done just a great job recruiting and getting them to be competitive.
Well, I think Minnesota high school hockey has a lot to do with that. 106 students from Minnesota high schools are playing in the WCHA now.
It's amazing.
Another power play opportunity, and look at the hands of the surgeon there by. There you go. I mean, just calm.
Yeah, and when she sees it, she's going to stop it right now. She's really feeling it. Yeah. And if there's not any traffic, that thing is not going in the net. Just a great job.
Sonia Holy now has the puck to her right. Penalty was whistled on St. Cloud. On the doorstep there, trying to get a stick on and redirected by St. Cloud netminder. Now a 3-1 deficit, but a chance here for Heisey and the Gophers to cut into that deficit. On the doorstep, trying to lift it. 911 need to be called. They were robbed. The Gophers on the doorstep, and what a gorgeous glove save. Hashtag FTL. Flashing the leather once again. Sonny Ahola.
Yeah, right there. And you can see, as you look up into the rafters, you can't believe you missed that shot. And that was Crystal Hembler.
He saw one, the Gophers. Littman just has it go beyond her stick there. They'll force the refuel at neutral ice.
As well as the Huskies have played, you know, one goal, this power play goal comes in, and it's we've got a good game.
Yeah, it changes the complexion of the game for sure. And, you know, I think has been done a really good job trying to limit the really high opportunities for Minnesota.
Wethington took that knee in a blast but missed the net. Good setup that time by Boreen. Now here comes St. Cloud State shorthanded. That's Lynn as they try to kill this penalty. Working it back down.
Taylor Lind has had a great night tonight for the Huskies. She has been offensively and defensively just there.
Stop, a pop there just inside the face-off circle. The shot taken.
Great position by St. Cloud. And, you know, the thing is with the Minnesota's power play.
Breaking opportunity here. Heisey, drop pass. Oh, somehow deflected on a nice backhand, but unable to get the shot off that time with the Gophers. But Heisey again.
I think St. Cloud maybe got away with one there.
Not one of the defense. Blast hits the fender in front by Zumwinkle. Wow, a hard blast. And back at full strength and back on the ice after being in the penalty box was Himlarova, and she was chasing that puck, and boy, how they did not score with some good pressure.
Yeah, I see there's that little hook right there that they may have gotten away with one, but I was just talking about Minnesota's power play and how they're not moving the puck around. It's a little bit too individualistic, and they're not using each other. But give St. Cloud credit on the penalty kill, doing a great job to kill that one off.
I thought you called that crafty, not a hook. Puck now at center ice and ensuing back defensively. So there is St. Cloud.
Hey, we want to thank Phil Housley for his time tonight as we're getting to the end of the second period. And what a treat, Joe, to have him as part of our guest. Incredible hockey knowledge.
I think he said he had to go to the penalty box, but I don't see him in there yet. But I do see St. Cloud State getting penalized one more time. And it looks like Grace Wolf out of Owatonna, Minnesota, has a reservation in the box. And another power play opportunity here for Minnesota with 41 seconds left in this second period. Conversation taking place right now.
Captain Taylor Lind is discussing, I think, that possibly the penalty. 41 seconds, like you said, and the Gophers have really kind of come alive after that power play goal.
They win this. Zumwinkle pinches in, sends it to the corner. And this race there and the clutter in that hard corner. Trying to work that now four-pack around and brings it along here, trying to hold the zone. And doing so, Zumwinkle, Grace Zumwinkle, but she can't hold the zone there. Tried to reach for it just beyond that, and she's forced back where the Gophers have 15 seconds to try to engineer a scoring opportunity here on the power play. St. Cloud picks up the loose puck and dispenses it to the near corner. 5 seconds left, and Lynn trying to disrupt at the blue line, picks it up, and that's going to take us to the end of the second period. Well, hey, first off, we got to thank Phil Housley. Great input. Enjoyed hearing from him.
Yeah, he absolutely. What a hockey mind.
And great to have it. It's the St. Cloud State Huskies after two complete. They're up 3-1, but we can come back for that third period. The Golden Gophers still have a $1.19 remaining on the power play.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? Well, now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Hey, we're in the second intermission here at the Andover Community Center. Golden Gophers are down to the St. Cloud State Huskies 3-1. We've got youth Andover hockey down there, and two of the players tonight were on the ice here through their youth playing days, and both Gophers, Peyton, Hemp, and Madison Kaiser, had a chance to talk with Joe earlier tonight, and we'll send it down. We'll kind of find out how they're doing in their college careers.
The Hall of Fame game, and the Golden Gophers taking on St. Cloud State. With us, some special guests and some alum from Andover High School. We have Peyton Hemp along with Madison. And first off, Peyton, what was that experience like for you in 2019 when you won that first state championship?
Yeah, there was really nothing like it. On the way here, me and Maddie were actually talking about it, just how tight of a unit our team was and how great it was, and then to finally win it all at the end, it was such a blessing. So it was a great experience here at Andover.
It is. And Madison, first year with the Gophers, already a goal, 3 assists. What has that transition been from high school into the University of Minnesota ranks?
Yeah, it's definitely been a smooth transition just because everyone's supporting. We have great coaches, a great team. So, yeah, it's been really smooth so far.
What about for yourself, Peyton? I know, hey, you've got 16 goals already in your career with the Gophers. What do you think was the biggest adjustment for you from high school to college?
For me, it's just kind of finding that new role. I think for everybody on our team, everyone's used to being one of the top dogs on their high school programs, so then coming together in college where you're maybe not going to be that top person anymore, just finding kind of what you're good at and the small things that you can do to help the team. So I feel like that was my biggest thing transitioning.
Right. Coaching standpoint, it's been great for you, Madison and Peyton?
Yes. The coaches have been really, really good.
Great. Hey, well, welcome back to Andover for this Hall of Fame game coming your way in just a moment.
Andover, Minnesota. 34.84 square miles and 33,000 strong. Home of the Huskies. Residing in the state where hockey is king, with a new battle for the crown each winter. 16 teams, 14 games, one ultimate dream.
Burgers trying to goal! 15 seconds in, Andover takes a 1-0 lead.
But in the end, only 2 teams reigned victorious in the state of hockey.
Skated out in the corner. Andover has won the state title.
Which makes Andover the city of champions.
Takes the lead pass. They come in across into shot. Rebounds. Your champion.
3-1, St. Cloud Huskies over the Golden Gophers here with 20 minutes left to play. The commissioner of the WCHA is in the house, and Joe Rulin is down with her. Tracy Dill, who is interim doing an interim basis, formerly the Bemidji State Athletic Director. And we'll have a chance for Joe to tell us, kind of have some time with Tracy Dill.
Hey, welcome. We get some time during this 2022 a great Hall of Fame experience taking place here at Andover, Minnesota, the rink here, and we get a chance to be joined on display, the WCHA play, but also the commissioner of the WCHA, and Tracy Dill, and you've got to enjoy what you're seeing out there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you're seeing 2 well-coached teams that are playing extremely hard, and they're putting on a great show for the fans here tonight.
They certainly are, and so you've recently taken over as the commissioner with this WCHA, and recently with Bemidji State, before that with St. Cloud. Yes. What kind of a vision do you have for these upcoming few years here coming for the WCHA? What are some changes or visions that you'd like to share?
Well, we've got such a, as you can see, such an outstanding product to watch. So it's on us to continue to get to showcase that. Television is a major piece of the puzzle for the WCHA. We've got 10 games this season on Fox 9 Plus. We're also streaming on B1G Plus on all of our home and away games for all our teams, as well as the Big Ten Network. We have a couple games on that, and I think in another week we'll get the deal done with Bally Sports, and we'll have up to 6 games on that as well. So I think that's really important. I think building partnerships with outside corporations. We'll be naming a sponsor for our tournament now, the Final Face-Off. We'll put that out. We've got the signed contract on that, so we're ready to go with that. We're excited about that. And there's many other partners in that as well. So there's a lot of good things. We got a great product. We want to be able to showcase that as well.
Well, and you see why you want to showcase, the hockey component of that as well, because of the speed, the skill set that continues to just elevate at this level. I'd want that as much visibility as possible as well.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And then if you just get to know the women that are part of all our teams here, they're just outstanding people. And the importance of what they do, not only on the ice, but off the ice, is equally as important too. They're great role models, and that's the beauty of this tournament, or not tournament, but this game, is the ability to showcase, take the show on the road a little bit, and showcase WCHA hockey at its finest. It's the best league in the college hockey world here, but we certainly want to make sure that we showcase that and take that around. And I've had good conversations tonight with Doug on that, and I think there's a lot of different things we can do yet to make this even bigger and better.
Well, I don't know how you can make it bigger and better, because it's standing room only here at Andover Ice Rink. In fact, this event sold out to 1,200 tickets in a matter of a hiccup, about an hour, and people thirsting for this level of competition.
Well, you can certainly tell in Andover they love hockey, and the people here are having a wonderful time being entertained, but the support. I was sitting in the stands talking to a woman here today that she has daughters involved in the hockey program here, and she speaks highly of the people here in Andover too. So I'm happy for them and happy that they were able to take this on for us as well.
Well, Commissioner Dill, thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
great to have you and have this moment and hear more about your vision and what's ahead, because it all sounds like best days ahead for the WCHA.
We got a great staff and a lot of people with experience in the WCHA, and we're really excited about the future. So it's already good, and we just want to make it a little bit better. So
thanks for joining us. We're going to send it back up to Jim Childs to get a recap so we can get ready for some more of this WCHA high excellence of soccer and football, and also coming your way, hockey, right?
Yeah,
thanks.
Absolutely.
Where's your emergency?
Everyone's on their way. What happened?
Your friend's not breathing.
Please get my mom and dad. Oh my God!
What is dementia? Is it the same as Alzheimer's? If someone has memory loss, does that mean they have dementia? Millions of Americans ask these questions every day. Hello, I'm Kevin Jameson, volunteer and president of the Dementia Society of America. Please request our free guide filled with facts about dementia and ways you can keep your brain as healthy as possible. Go to 1-800-DEMENTIA.org or call 1-800-DEMENTIA. You want to live your life to the fullest, and we can help.
3-1. We are still in the second intermission. We're finishing resurfacing the ice here at the Andover Community Center, and what a spine-tingling game so far between these two high-powered college programs. In the first period, it was all defense, and especially as we got a chance to see Peyton Hemp take the drop along with Lind, the captain for the Huskies. And Karen Bai was the person who dropped the puck. Outstanding. We'll have her in the third period. And right there, great defensive work by the Huskies. Johnny Aloha, outstanding job in net in that first period. Point blank shots and no rebounds given up. The Huskies late in the first period, able to get a goal as Akara Hemlovia scores. Taylor Lind, Bailey Burton with the assist. And then, with 41 seconds left, Addie Schreiber with the goal. Courtney Hall and Emma Gentry with the assist. Coming back right from the period on a power play. 23 seconds in, Bailey Burton lights the lamp. And the St. Cloud Huskies up 3-0. Then Taylor Hazy, the All-American, sends a rocket right over the sticks of the Husky goalie. And that makes the score 3-1. Back and forth. A lot of puck possession for the Gophers. But Shani Ahola has been there and stood tall, flashing the leather a number of times right there on the doorstep as she extends, brings it in, and this on a 2-0 on the power play. Caught the Huskies in a change and just missed there. Now we've got a chance to see the 2022 Hall of Famers inductees. Buzz Snyder there along with Karen Bai. You see the Huskies starting on their way back as they get ready to start this fourth period, or the fourth period. Boy, that would be overtime. An outstanding presentation by the U.S. Hall of Fame. We'll listen into the PA as they talk about each inductee. There's some hockey royalty down there. Buzz Snyder, Bill Housley. And we'll take a look while we've got the chance and we're waiting for the teams to come back on board. Let's take a look at the rankings as of this week. Minnesota Golden Gophers now ranked number 1 as they had the weekend sweep over Minnesota Duluth, who's now ranked 7th. In the WCHA, 1, 2, and 3 are all from the WCHA. The Gophers, the Ohio State, and Wisconsin. In fact, Wisconsin and Minnesota are the only 2 winners of the regular season in the last 13 years in this WCHA. Also see some teams out east, Colgate, Winnipeg, Yale, Northeastern, Cornell, and Providence all in the top 10. But those 3 top teams right there, Minnesota, the Buckeyes, and the Badgers, all out of a cut above as we go through. And I mentioned earlier that we've got 106 Minnesotans playing in the WCHA, and there are 6 from the Huskies, from the Andover Huskies, that are in the WCHA as well.
We are getting set to begin this third period. And what we do, it's going to be a chance here for the Gophers to try to capitalize on the power play. And chance here. So for this third period, another special guest joins us, and a Hall of Famer and gold medalist in Miss Bai. In fact, I remember you having your picture on the Wheaties box.
Yes. Yes.
So we still have that Wheaties box. I bring it out every once in a while and show it to kids, and it still has Wheaties in it, and the expiration date on it is like June of 1999 or something. So.
Well, what a great tribute to you and your team.
Thank you.
What have your thoughts so far about this matchup of the Gophers and St. Cloud State tonight?
I'll tell you what, they're giving us quite a game here. You know, the
They
Gophers have been dominating here, but there's been some phenomenal goaltending by the Huskies and some great defensive plays out there.
22-12 shots on goal after this second period, and those shots on goal favor the Gophers. Moving in, still 35 seconds left on the man advantage. They're cutting through now, trying to set it back up in the corner.
So Karen, I need to know, how did you get from down on the ice up to here that quickly?
I had strict instructions to get up there, so I just got off the ice and bolted.
That was lightning quick.
Dropping back on the backside, turned away. What a save! Closing the pads. Had that whole backside, but how versatile is the St. Cloud State goalie in being able to close that gap from one side of the crease to the other?
She has shut down that back door on that power play now twice, and I'll tell you what, that's tough to do against a talented team like the Gophers.
Her lateral movement is just quick. She is she's got good vision, and yeah, I agree with you.
Back now behind as a penalty has expired, so St. Cloud State has killed now 27 of their last 28 penalty kills. Savard drops it. Chance here to counter, tangling up the Huskies there, chipping, chiseling at it there. St. Cloud State, but skating away with the puck now on the near side. Comes Oden and the Gophers. Dropping it in the corner, circling back up, trying to get some movement. Chipping it down below, it deflects behind the goal. Trying to pick it up as Murphy. Now far point. Working it there is Wethington. Here's a hard shot off the side of the goal there. Deflects, picking it up. Lennon there with the chest boost. Puck pouncing on top of that cat-like quickness.
I mean, these players these days have such incredible shots. I mean, that was an extremely hard shot, and she is not giving up any rebounds. She's covering it up right away, and those Gophers are right there. Here's a nice little look at it where the rebound barely comes off, but look at her shoot straight across, covers it up with her glove, and she's not giving any time for these Gophers to put in a rebound.
Yeah, and you can see the defense collapse on that Gopher, too, as she kind of tried to crash the net.
Lightning had been serving up some great scoring opportunities for the Gophers, but she's turned away a lot of those. And then, as we said all game, minimizing any rebounds. And they're not getting too far out away, but that glove, she's been flashing the leather all night. Wonderful saves. Moving it back up, and now St. Cloud State trying to put some pressure. As Phil Housley had joined us in that second period, and he said, hey, they're going to probably start stacking it back with that goal, with that lead. St. Cloud in their own end. And he's right, but they've also had some good opportunities to score, St. Cloud.
Yeah, they've definitely capitalized on any opportunity. And I mean, there's been some goaltending, phenomenal goaltending on both sides of the ice here, but I'll tell you what, St. Cloud has just done a little better finding the back of the net.
Hey, in this event tonight as well, and this matchup is the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame Museum Women's Face-Off Classic. And boy, of your Olympic experience, which one stands out most to you? Is there one?
I mean, it's got to be the '98 Olympics, winning that gold. I mean,
yes, that first one.
The first one, it was the first time women's ice hockey was in the Olympics. I got to travel over to Japan and then came home with that gold medal. And I'll tell you what, that's a pretty special team. The 20 of us still keep in touch. In fact, we're getting ready to plan a 25-year reunion here coming up next year.
Wow, that goes fast, but it's a good memory that stays with you.
Oh, it's unbelievable, and I'll tell you what, that team is we're a pretty tight-knit group. we're all on a text chain together. So whenever there's games on, we're watching games and texting, or just, just in general. Hey, happy birthday! How you doing? Just keeping in touch.
What were some of the elements that attributed to the success of some core, say, competencies within that team that you remember that really united you so well?
I think a lot of it has to do with just everybody accepting their roles on the team. I mean, you take the best players from each of these teams, from Northeastern, from New Hampshire, from Providence, and not all the players can be on the power play. Not all the players can be on the penalty kill. Not all the players can be on the first line like they probably were, on the teams they came from. So if you were a first liner or a second liner, if you were on the power play, maybe you were the fourth line and didn't get out as much. But everybody accepted their roles and did their job when they were called upon, and I think that's what gave us a lot of success. And just having that common goal. We stepped on the ice, and we were all fighting for that same thing, and we would do anything for one another to win that gold.
Well, in 51 career games, collected 84 points, 47 goals, 37 assists. That's impressive, and also Women's Player of the Year. Just a phenomenal resume. And how did you really get your start? What got you interested as a kid?
Typical story where you have an older brother, Chris, and he was sick and couldn't go to his practice. And my dad dressed me up into his equipment. And I got on the ice and loved it, and played with the boys, just like everybody back then did, because we didn't have the girls hockey that they have today, and just loved it. And back when I went to college, they didn't have University of Minnesota, St. Cloud, Wisconsin. There were some club teams, and so I had to go out east to the University of New Hampshire to play hockey.
You just answered my next question, because no, it's fine. Well, I grew up in River Falls, not far from here. And then I was just going to ask how you ended up in New Hampshire at that time.
Yeah, there was only 3 schools at the time that offered scholarships: Providence College, Northeastern University, and University of New Hampshire. So those were the 3 that I was really focusing on. And I just did a visit out there, and UNH felt like a great fit for me. And Russ McCurdy at the time was the head coach, and that's where I ended up.
Well, you did. Let's just say adequate, because in over 87 games, you put up 164 points. That's amazing, and also in the Hall of Fame, University of New Hampshire as well. That had to be, just remarkable. I'm feeling and moving all the way out east to kind of restart things and ignite your career.
When I got inducted in that Hall of Fame, it was after the '98 Olympics, and it was fun to be able to go back there and see a lot of familiar faces, and where a lot of my hockey success actually started at that collegiate level there. And I never knew women's ice hockey was going to be in the Olympics, but I watched Buzzy Schneider and Mark Johnson and all these players back in the 1980 Olympics, and it was at that time I said, hey, I want to be in the Olympics. And I think my parents looked at me like, yeah, you're crazy. You're not going to go to the Olympics. And, women's ice hockey didn't get into the Olympics until 1998. And so I was pretty lucky to have that dream of mine come true. And I had the inspiration of being able to watch that '98 Olympic team bring home the gold.
Do you bring that gold medal out every once in a while and, dangle it, maybe head down, go grab a coffee? And,
hey guys, guess what I got?
Did I forget to leave this on? And
you know what? I do a fair amount of speaking engagements.
Yeah.
And I speak to youth, I speak to hockey teams, I speak to church groups, whatever. And I always bring it, because I think if I was a kid and I had an opportunity to see a gold medal, I would have been like, oh man, this is pretty cool. So I do bring it out quite a bit just to share with people in the community and all over.
So your voice sounded really familiar. And you, in the Andover community, absolutely would recognize your voice as you called the state championship game for the Huskies against Minnetonka last year. Wasn't last year?
Well, I didn't do it last year. It was Julie Friend that it was a few years ago. Yes, I did do the for
against
the Minnesota,
Edina.
The Minnesota Girls State High School Hockey Tournament. I did that for about 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
So recognize a lot of these names that you see in college now, because I would have called some games in the high school.
Yeah.
Good. What are you seeing in terms of, here's like Gophers moving in on a backhand? They're trying every angle they can, which is what you have to do, right? As high-power scoring team, the Gophers, and trying to move her up, down, all around, and get her in different positions. What do you see that's kind of been a game changer? I spoke with Tracy Dill, the WCHA commissioner, and he's talking about, hey, getting more, exposure to the game and getting more TV time out there as a way to kind of showcase this. You talked about creating that awareness through your gold medals and sharing with people because you really don't know the opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's still a fair number of people out there that don't realize that women's ice hockey exists at this level. I mean, this is a packed house here. Like, this is absolutely awesome to see this many people in here watching, because I guarantee you there's a lot of people in here who have never been to a Division I women's hockey game, and for them to stand around, I was standing next to some guys and they're like, whoa, they're fast. Wow, look at that shot. Wow, that was a hit. And I think they're impressed.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that for the sport. I love that for these women to be able to play in front of a crowd like this.
And it is the very explosive speed with both these teams. And you're seeing some of that also from European players with St. Cloud State.
Oh, there's no question about it. That I mean, there is talent all over. I mean, obviously the Gophers and the Badgers get a lot of press, but these other teams are up and coming. St. Cloud, Mankato, Bemidji State. I mean, Ohio State won the NCAA championship last year. So the level of play that exists is fantastic. I have a daughter who's a sophomore in college, and she's the manager for Boston College. So I am a big fan of following Boston College hockey now, and all the East Coast teams out there. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of talent out there too. So it's just a lot of fun to be able to follow this and the excitement that exists leading up to trying to win an NCAA championship.
I really enjoy the flow of the play and rewarding that speed. And speaking of rewarding that speed, you could do that at St. Cloud State. Skating in, Cornelius here, a shot, goal! St. Cloud State lights the lamp and now extends their lead to 4-1 on an even strength goal with 11:51 to go here in the third.
That nice job by Cornelius to put it in, but more importantly, it was Bergeron that created with the screen right in front of Vetter. And really, Vetter had no chance to see that puck. Great shot by Cornelius to put it in.
First goal of the season for her, 6th of her career. Get a look at this. And just enough to be deflected, maybe throw the timing off.
Yeah, it looked like it did get a little bit deflected there, but she was screened. I'm going to tell you what, you got to get traffic in front of the net. When you're playing against a goaltender as good as these, it's tough to score unless you can get traffic and screens in front of them.
St. Cloud counters back with a good shot and deflection to the near board, and out beyond the reach there, Zemwinkle, and St. Cloud State gets possession, sends it back behind, over skating the puck there. Chance there for Savard as they try to, St. Cloud center it out front, but now here comes Heisey. She has a lone goal here this evening for the Gophers. A power play goal. Heisey gets just inside the blue line, sends it deep. They're going to try to make some line changes on the flow, are the Gophers. What do you do offensively now if you're the Gophers?
Puck's got to get to the net. I mean, anytime you have an opportunity to shoot that puck, you have to shoot. You have to get traffic in front of the net. You got to screen this goaltender. You know, you can't be fancy. You know what I mean? There's not a time to be fancy here, and it's just continuing to work hard, and they are working hard. They just haven't had any puck luck or some bounces, and now they got themselves into some penalty trouble.
Yeah.
Interference call.
See Hemp at center ice. Hemp from Andover. Of course, she had committed to the University of Minnesota. Back then you could as a freshman. But I talked to her before the game, and I said, how are you enjoying your college experience at the U? She goes, I love it. And I says, I can't believe the amount of goals you already have. She goes, how many do I have? I don't even know. I said,
that's awesome.
I said
that's a
10.
team
She
player,
goes, oh, okay. I said, you don't have 10. You have 16 career goals already. Really? She goes, oh, I guess I didn't notice. And that's just that mindset of Hemp, and then contagious here for the Gophers. But the Gophers are going to need some serious mojo here as they're on the penalty kill with 10:20 to go in this third period, and they trail 4-1.
So, Karen, the rivalry between the United States and Canada back then was huge. It still is.
Shorty at 10 coming in. Heisey. No look backhand. Tried to guide that over to teammates there, but couldn't close the deal. I know. I was thinking the same thing when I saw her coming in. I thought she's going to snipe this.
And that's where I'm talking about trying to get fancy, right?
Yeah.
I just said it, and I think the behind the back pass and everything, you shoot the puck. I mean, Heisey's got a rocket. I mean, I'm actually surprised on that breakaway in the second period. I thought she was just going to roof it. And, you know, she went for the pass again, not bad, but she's got such a shot that I'd like to see her use it a little more here.
Yeah, we saw it on that first goal. I mean, she was just right inside the dot and just rifled it past Hula.
Would rival that Reed Larson shot.
Yeah.
Had a chance to speak with him in that second intermission. But again, St. Cloud State doing a good job of setting it up, keeping some spacing. And the one thing I noticed for a while, I worked with the New York Rangers organization and their farm system. We'd get players down who had played in the NHL as Newland sends it back behind. 30 seconds still left on the power play here for St. Cloud. Crossing to the far point, moving in. A wrister here, hits traffic, does not make it to the net, and the Gophers are able to dispense it length of the ice. The one thing I noticed about NHL players just coming down to the minors to work off an injury, they were so poised with the puck. Great hands, obviously, but they weren't in a rush. You could always tell. Marcel Dion came down for a while, several others, but just poised with it. They weren't in a rush, just moving it off their stick. You got your tape-to-tape passing that you need, but you kind of saw that poised mentality.
I think you can see that at the women's level too. They're
Absolutely.
they're so patient with the puck, but you can tell when they're a little bit off. And I think the Gophers are a little off tonight. I've seen a few passes they've missed, and I've actually looked over and I've seen Natalie Darwitz just kind of put her head back, like, oh, like, I mean, those are passes they're normally tape to tape, and they've just been a little bit off.
So it's 3 games in 4 days, and against a rival.
Chance here on the rebound. Beautiful extension on that pad save. And I thought the Gophers were going to have a chance on the rebound as they were back in full strength. Getting the snipe as Newland there and making the save.
So they came off against, you know, a rival with the Bulldogs, you know, playing the Bulldogs this weekend. The Gophers did. And you come back and you've got to play 2 days later. Is it emotionally tough to get up for these games?
Oh, it can be for sure. I mean, especially on a Monday night. I mean, these guys are used to playing Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday. But I'll tell you what. I mean, it's college sports. It's D1. St. Cloud's up playing, you know, and to play in front of a crowd like this. As a D1 athlete, you have to just be prepared to play if you're called on a Monday night, on a Wednesday night, on a weekend, whenever it is. You have to figure out a way to get yourself mentally and physically prepared to play.
And Cloud turns, fires another rebound, but couldn't pull the trigger. Lund, she had a beautiful look there. And a nice pad save. Kicked away there by Vetter. Out of Lakeville. She's having a great season. I hate to curse her at 7-0 coming in, Skylar Vetter. Pop here, one and done. And that's kind of been the story. They haven't been able to cash in the Gophers on any rebounds because it's like hitting a pillow when the saves are made. They absorb and they don't go far from the goalie.
And I think what happens with a team like Gophers like this, I mean, you get frustrated, right? I mean, I saw in the first period I was standing down by that net and 2 or 3 pucks just trickled by. I mean, almost went in, right on the goal line. And I think if one of those pucks had gone in, would have given them a little bit more momentum.
On the doorstep, poking, prodding, trying to find an opening, but none to be had, shutting the door as she has all night. Sonny Ahola has been outstanding. Goals against coming into this matchup at 2.55. But
you can see Hemp in there battling along with. That's a scrum.
I mean, you look at the physicality of this sport. I'll tell you what, the refs have let a lot go tonight too. I mean, they're letting a little bit more of the contact go, which I think is fine. Yep. I like it. There was a good penalty call down here. That was definitely a hit. But you see the strength that these women have as they plant themselves in front of the net, and they're battling for position. They're battling for that tip. They're battling for that rebound.
Absolutely. And face-off won by the Gophers just inside the blue line. A shot there that deflects to the near corner. Trying to get possession back again. Back to the near point, skating in. Weatherington wants to take a shot. Too much traffic in front. As you can see, the Huskies just kind of dropping back and getting anything they can in front of most of these shots. Murphy takes this one from the near point, rejected back out to the half wall. The Gophers, the #1 team currently in the nation, down by 3 goals, 4-1 with 6:20 remaining here in the third period. St. Cloud State has not only just come out to show in this event for the Hall of Fame, but they have had an impressive outing.
St. Cloud has done a fantastic job with their stick positioning, blocking shots. I don't know what the stats are, but I'll tell you what, they've definitely, right there, another one. They've definitely got themselves into the passing lanes, the shooting lanes, and they've definitely frustrated the Golden Gophers tonight.
How much of an advantage, or how do you look at it, or is it a disadvantage when you have to play on that large rink at St. Cloud State, and then you come here to a normal rink?
It can be. You can look at it either way, depending on what kind of team you have. I mean, if these guys obviously look like they've breaking
moving in here, trying to put a pad save by underneath the garage door attempt again, turned away.
On the bigger sheet of ice, you typically we're going to have a pretty good skating team, right? Because you got a lot of room to skate. So now they continue to have the speed on the smaller sheet of ice. They just got to make some quicker decisions because you don't quite have all the room. But they've obviously adapted very well. And a lot of times teams will practice on a smaller sheet of ice prior to traveling. And the Gophers are in a great position where, you know, they have Mariucci, the big sheet of ice, and they have Ritter, the small sheet of ice. So between the men and the women, they can go back and forth and practice on whatever size of sheet they are going to be playing on the upcoming weekend.
Interesting perspective.
Yeah,
and
that's great
I look at
great insight.
That extra space at St. Cloud State, and you just see, I mean, I look at the European coaches, and I had a chance to speak with the St. Cloud State coach and wondered, hey, how do you must play that to your advantage.
Right. And I think I'm not a goaltender, but I think a lot of it has to come down with the goalies getting their angles correct, right? You know, the different sheet of ice. I think that comes into play, so it's good for them to get out and get some shots on whatever size ice that you are going to be playing on that week.
Bulger there, tries to disrupt, does, and Heisey goes to the ice, no penalty. They'll play on as we're approaching 4 minutes left in this third period. Scrapping at it, trying to hold at it, trying to just get a spark. A one-timer turned away there and lofted just over the glass, right on that doorstep. Hey, we want to take some time. Thanks for joining us and jumping in with us, Karen Bai, and your insight is great, and I love it, and I love the energy.
Great. Well, I appreciate you guys for having me here. I appreciate you for doing the game and you know, giving more look for women's ice hockey, televising it, and I think this is fantastic. So thank you so much for everything you guys have done. And I don't know, the last 4 minutes here may be pretty exciting.
It might be. Thank you.
Gold medalist, Karen Bai.
And I'll tell you, given this visibility, seeing it builds a lot of momentum with the sport, as we heard again from Tracy Dill and Ms. Bai as well. Here's a chance. Lund with the wrister off the post. Trying to take that one top shelf with the peanut butter, but it was off the post, and back comes Hemp in Minnesota. Desperately trying to come up with something here as they want to change the momentum quickly. Little time remaining here with 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go in this third period. 4-1 lead for St. Cloud State.
St. Cloud State defensively is just, shut the door, and they've got skaters back. They're doing a nice job trying to cover up. Right there is a good one as Odin was trying to get out.
Impressive here, moving it down out to the corner and back out again. It's amazing. Good job here by the coaching staff for St. Cloud State to really get the flow going tonight. I had a chance to speak with Dan Hammond, who does a lot of the play-by-play for the Gophers, and he had said St. Cloud State played pretty tight the last year. The scores won't indicate it, but they played extremely well, and obviously Coach Idelski in his first season now will take the team now to 7-6 on the season, unless we see an amazing comeback. And the goalie is out now for the Gophers, and the extra attacker is on, but he's obviously brought kind of a different moxie to the Huskies. Skating in now. Zumwinkle, backhand, deflected away. And just technique-wise, you're seeing so many things right that Uhola is doing just right and minimizing those rebounds. Wrister from just inside the blue line. It deflects over top of the goal. Still with it. Extra attacker on for the Gophers. They have pulled Vetter. Dropping it down low. And again, Jim, we should talk of this. This game itself represents not a conference game.
No, but it is counted in the regular season and part of the RPI and in their rankings.
Correct. As this showcase classic and Hall of Fame night, and trying to get back there and beat that puck so it doesn't cross the goal line. Weatherington that time. Weatherington with it. Back out, and an empty net attempt there. Just goes wide by St. Cloud. Collecting, circling out of their own end, refueling. Murphy tips and sends it deep. Getting there first in the quarter will be St. Cloud. They'll ring it along the board and just out. A pitchfork toss back to and beyond neutral ice.
I think what needs to be talked about right now is the Huskies have done a great job on defense, not tonight, but the last 4 games. This will only be 3 goals so far in their last 5 games.
Skaya handled that puck and then tried to put it back out in front, and looking for any momentum right now, even for that next game. In front, there's Hemp again, stick down, but just unable to get anything by Sonny Ahola.
Taylor Lynn goes off the ice. I think that's the first time this period she's been off the ice for the Huskies.
Inside the corner. Wow, was it great to get that perspective from Karen Bai. Just enjoy listening to her tempo and her knowledge, but also just how she delivers it. And you could tell as an Olympic gold medalist that approach and bravado with her that is, boy, I didn't even get a chance to give her a hard time as we go to 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and this game is completed as a St. Cloud State win, and they snap a huge losing streak against this Gopher squad.
Yeah, 63 straight non-winning contests, and now the Gophers with their first loss of the regular season loss, or regulation loss so far, but great win for the Huskies.
They did. Came out. Head coach Idalski that time really kind of knew what they wanted to get. He could tell he just kind of had that mindset of owning that play, but also just playing so strong. And I'll tell you, player of the game.
Yeah, no chance of anybody but this person being Sonny Ahola. The junior goalkeeper stopped 34 out of 35 shots tonight for the Huskies and was magnificent with the leather.
The Gophers almost outshot St. Cloud State at a 2-1 margin, as you mentioned, Jim. 35-19. Impressive. Just the junior, and oh my gosh, glove save, those pad saves you have to control and settle. And congratulations to St. Cloud State with the big win tonight. We mentioned at the beginning that the record was at a mark of I think it was 101 wins and just 3 losses for the Gophers against St. Cloud State. So now they're starting to turn it the other way. St. Cloud State upcoming schedule. They're taking on Minnesota Duluth this weekend. In fact, the Gophers just swept them. And then finally they're going to go to Lindenwood on the 25th and 26th, play next. And then St. Thomas just in the back door around here at on December 2nd. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they are home against Wisconsin. That's a tough matchup. This on the 19th and 20th. And then Penn State in the Vegas Showcase, and which will also take on Boston U and Yale. That's on the 25th and 26th. And then they take on the Mavericks, home of Claire Budarak, another Andoverite, and others there. They'll take on Mankato State on 12-2 on December 2nd. But what an evening this was. And we're going to go to the PA. They're going to take over for the final ceremony here tonight. Some of those traditional awards presented. He looks familiar. Oh, hold it. He was with us in that first period. Buzzy Schneider. The trophy.
That's Taylor Lynn, who just was phenomenal tonight. Absolutely the most valuable Husky, with the exception of the goalie.
Exactly. As you mentioned, Jim, you pointed out the record. Now there's a good look at Buzzy. It was a blast to have him with us.
And Phil Housley. What a...
Hey, we are thankful. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and great to have you with us as viewers. Hope you enjoyed this evening as much as Jim and I did. A call out as well to everyone involved, the University of Minnesota, the Gophers, and St. Cloud State as well, and everyone that helped make this possible, including Taylor and the truck, and Catherine and Ryan and the whole crew. I'm Joe Rulin. This is a big win. St. Cloud State 4-1 over the #1 ranked team in the nation, over the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Joe Rulin for Jim Giles. Have yourself a Major League evening at a minor league press.